And here's the thing, when Israel launched its all-out war against Gaza with its airstrikes and this impending ground invasion, the assumption guiding such an operation would be that this will increase the risks for the civilians of Palestine. Every civilian in Gaza will be at an increased risk of becoming a casualty, but only that is just a heightened risk. But if you cut the power, and that means that nobody in Gaza has electricity anymore after the only power plant in Gaza ran out of fuel, so that means that certain people who really need electricity, like those on life support in incubators, this will be a death sentence for them. And so this is not just a question of they're in more danger because of Israel's actions. Israel is flat out killing them. And there's just no way for them to survive if they really need technological intervention and electricity to survive, and it's all gone. And they have, on top of that, they have to evacuate the hospital, which means that other forms of care they don't have access to anymore once they are out of the hospital, which is already being overburdened as it is. And that's a big problem with Israel's actions, that some people are being handed a death sentence instead of just being put in greater danger. And Israel should really do something about that. It should look out for such people who are like this. And it's a very complicated matter, but there are so many ways of going about it, and I don't know all the solutions to this, but there is one solution that I'm going to pitch to you, and that is that people who are so vulnerable, such as that they need electricity to survive, they must be registered and they must be accounted for in Gaza whenever such people are in such conditions. And as for pregnant women, you know that people, every time there's a birth certificate produced, and then the authorities register that a new person has come into this world. But in addition to that, pregnant women, whenever a woman gets pregnant, whenever it becomes known that she's pregnant, that should also be registered, and the authorities should keep track of this every time a woman is known to become pregnant. That is the start of a person's life that should come to the authorities' notice. And when there is a database of this, then these pregnant women can be taken better care of. The authorities can know where they are and what their needs are, and how to supply these needs to them. So that is a policy that Gaza needs. Now, hopefully when peace returns to Gaza, this policy and other necessary policies will be implemented. Basically, there has to be a change to how things are done in this region and to how generally humanitarian protocol works. And there must be a change in how journalistic reporting of humanitarian issues work. We no longer need just journalists who tell about what is going on, who report on the facts. We need journalists who explain, and that we don't usually have when it comes to humanitarian matters. I mean, I've heard one news report from a long time ago, I think it was about the anthrax scare in America after 9/11, and in it the journalist, the news reporter, called the anthrax virus, even though anthrax is a bacteria. You can know that by the fact that they call it the anthrax spores, which only bacteria produce spores, not viruses. It basically shows how ignorant journalists and news reporters tend to be about scientific matters, and how little they lack expertise about the subjects that they report on. We need to change that. We need a new class of journalists who actually know what they're talking about, and who can explain succinctly and comprehensively to the audience what is going on with the issue that they're reporting on, what's going on in the area that they're reporting on, and how things work. Such as, for example, how the people are suffering, what basic human needs are, and what is happening to these needs, how are these needs being deprived, how medicine works, how people's medical needs function, and things like that. And when we have that, not only will people become more aware of issues like humanitarian crises that are going on at any given time, they'll be more educated about how to meet such needs and more educated about how to tend to their own needs. It's information that can be useful for them, that can be useful for everybody. Everybody needs to know such things, and if they only pay attention when there's a crisis somewhere in the world, then journalists have the responsibility to deliver this information to them, to deliver them the proper education that people need in order to be more resilient in life and in order to be better protected. This is Rajesh Shazif Khan for Disaster Management PPLDM. Please like and subscribe for more updates on this and other vital issues regarding humanitarian affairs. Thank you.